Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. We've seen some updates to the SMG meta here recently in Warzone, and it is about as competitive as any specific category meta is right now. And today I wanted to go through and break down the new top 5 best SMGs and the best setups you want to be using for those top subs. So we're starting here first on COD Community because we got to break down what the top 5 SMGs are. This category is insane. We've got 6 of the best here: the Razor, the VST, the Carbon, Dravik, Raiden, and Kogot. Looking at combination shot TTK, you can see there is parity on parity in this general category. Obviously, a main standout right now, though, is how harsh that Razor drop off is in that second damage range. That's noticeable. That's a big nerf that just happened, but it's also the fastest TTK in the first damage range. So that kind of checks it out. Like, obviously, the vast majority of the time you want to be engaging with these SMGs in their first damage range, and the Razor is still the best there, but it definitely is balanced out by that second damage range. You have something like the VST, which is now a little bit easier to use, that has a crazy fast TTK up close and in the second damage range. The Carbon, fast TTK in the first range and the second range, which is really good for like sniper support as well. The Dravik is consistent through and through. The Kogot as well. The Raiden is pretty decent here, but it is noticeably slower than some of the other options here in its first damage range, which ultimately is the most important. And to me, that just barely knocks it out of the top 5, leaving us with the Razor, the VST, the Carbon, the Dravik, and the Kogot. So let's jump in game. Let's rank these in order of 5 to 1, worst to best in this specific top 5. And of course, talk about all the best builds you want to be using for each of these weapons. If you guys enjoy the info as we go through it all, if you find it helpful, do me a favor, drop a like on the video. It's always seriously appreciated. And if you're new here, you want to ensure you're always in the know for everything going on in COD, there's no better place than right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. So I won't lie, putting this in a general top 5 order is not super easy to do because there's just so much back and forth with some of these SMGs. The Razor, I think, is still going to be a top pick option because people are so familiar with it, so comfortable with it, but that damage drop off is no lie. For the slightly better TTK you get in the first damage range, that drop off's pretty insane. So that's why I've actually got the Razor at number 5 here. It's noticeable when you're fighting at 10 meters and closer, the first damage range and closer, and beyond that, especially when you're going up against other SMGs at maybe 15 or 20 meters. This thing is noticeably worse there, but still so good in that first damage range that it slips into the top 5. So first up here, I'm not a huge fan of the iron sights on the Razor. I am way more accurate with the lethal tool Zelo, and accuracy matters a lot with this gun to get that fast TTK up close. So I am rocking the lethal tools on there. I do go for the long barrel. This pushes that fast TTK range out to 13 meters. It's just beyond those 13 meters where this thing is no longer a top 5 SMG for sure. Max horizontal control under barrel on here. We want to be, again, as accurate as possible, so this makes the pattern a lot more predictable. Extended mag 2, definitely want this on there. A 50 rounder with a 1000 RPM. You're going to still burn through ammo, but that gives you the largest safety net. And then recoil springs, no cons here at all. Better horizontal and vertical control. That's huge. So this thing becomes a lot more accurate with these attachments on here, and also a little bit more efficient out to a longer range where you can get that fast TTK. Certainly a lot more balanced though after this last update. Now I won't lie, from 4, 3, 2, and 1 here, I think you can make an argument for any of these SMGs being the best. It's like a 1A, 1B, 1C type deal here. At number 4 though, I've got the Dravik, ever so slightly behind some of these other choices. This thing's got clean iron sights. It's really quick to kill as well. It's very aggressive. Like the ADS here, you can just spam it and it's super snappy. So I love the feel of this thing, and it's just gotten better and better and better with time, it seems. So with those irons on there, first up here we start with the long barrel. I do prefer the long barrel on a lot of my SMG builds. If you're more of an aggressive style player, you care more about movement than you do some range, the short barrel on all of these builds here today is a great alternative. For my playstyle, my preference here, I do like pushing those fast TTK ranges out to whatever I can get them to be the best there. So 15 meters in this case is pretty solid there, so I do rock with that. Extended mag 1 works here. It's a 48 rounder, but we only have a 638 RPM, so that's not super fast. If you wanted to use extended 2, you could, but it is going to slow you down just a little bit more there. Quick draw rear grip on here for an even snappier ADS. Movement stock for an even better ADS, plus the better strafe. That's my favorite part of that attachment there. And then some recoil springs. Again, free recoil control. If you care more about staying off the radar, you could switch that out for a suppressor there. If you're more of a hip fire fan, you could put on a laser there too. So there's a few different ways you could kit this out. All of them are going to be really solid. Then at number 3, I've got the Kogot. This thing is just a super well-rounded SMG. There's a little bit of balance to it for sure, but as you use it more, you get more familiar with that pattern. You're going to be able to fry close range, mid range, this thing is pretty versatile and really, really reliable. So here again, I like the iron sight, so I actually start off with the compensator, straight up better vertical control, making life a little bit easier there. Long barrel, pushing that effective damage range out to 15 meters. I also go for the max horizontal control underbarrel here. This thing's pretty speedy, so we're not losing anything by not getting more mobility out of an attachment here, but it does make the gun a lot easier to use in my opinion. Extended mag 2 here, another 50 rounder on a 968 RPM, certainly necessary in my opinion. And then you can kind of go a couple of different routes here. Quick draw rear grip is my preference for that snappier ADS, but a strafe stock could be fantastic here. There's a lot of really good hip fire builds for the Kogot for what it's worth. Recoil springs could be viable here too, so kind of pick your poison for that last attachment. You'll be set up nicely because overall this thing is just really dependable. Now at number 2, I've got the VST. They did just make this thing a lot easier to use. The main con of this thing, or the main balance of this thing having such a fast TTK prior to this week, was its recoil. It kind of bounced around everywhere. They buffed the recoil and it is now much easier to stay on target, which means you can melt. So here I am still going a lot in on recoil control because I want to be as accurate as possible to get that super fast TTK. So compensator first and foremost for that better recoil control. Once again, long barrel pushing that effective damage range out to 16 meters, so that's pretty solid there. Max horizontal control underbarrel on here. Definitely again, one extended mag to a 50 rounder on a 1091 RPM. Even with the 50 rounder on there, the damage per mag won't be phenomenal, but it's the best you can get. You definitely want that. Then recoil springs, once more free recoil control on there. So when you're stacking those, you're stacking the horizontal control, the vertical control. This thing's going to be a lot more accurate and you can achieve that insanely fast TTK in that first and that second damage range without having to work too hard. And then lastly here at number 1, I've got the Carbon, which might be a bit of a controversial pick for number 1. I love this gun. It is by far my favorite feeling SMG. This thing is easy to use. It's got clean iron sights. It is incredibly reliable in the close range and the mid range. It's got a great drop off there that's not too harsh. But like I said, this is the 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D type situation where this SMG category is so competitive, you can make arguments for all these other ones we've just talked about. But here initially, again, I start off with the compensator just to maintain some accuracy. There's some better control. I do like the long barrel here as well, at 13 meter effective damage range, pushing that out just a little bit for that nice TTK. But if you stack short barrel on here, because we are using the prestige stock, I mean, you fly with that on there too. So that's a really fun build. The prestige stock is still an extended mag, a 50 rounder, but you also get way better movement speed across the board. Mobile recoil hand stop on here is even better movement speed and better horizontal control. That's a win-win. And then the quick draw rear grip, a snappier ADS. So this thing is incredibly agile, incredibly fast, and very fun to use at the same time. Really, like I said, this entire SMG meta right now is insanely competitive, and you've got really good options for a variety of different preferences, whether you're looking for easy to use, good mobility, good TTK. It's kind of a mix of everything here. That is going to wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like on it, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button so you can always guarantee you are in the know for everything going on in Call of Duty. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.